just for you guys who watch my channel because if you found out that I do videos about depression and you like them. So this is for you, and I hope it helps somebody. I am not doing okay, actually, but I'm going to make a video anyways. One thing you'll notice about me, or one thing I'll tell you about me, is that when I'm doing well and I feel good, I make videos. I love to make videos. And when I'm not doing good, and when I'm struggling with depression, I make hardly any videos whatsoever. And in the last 6 months, I have made 8 videos. I should be making at least 8 videos per month, and I've done 8 videos in 6 months. So if that gives you any indication as to how well I'm doing, I'm not doing that great. I've been challenged to make this video by several people, and I thought about, well, what do I want to do, and most importantly, I always want to be forthcoming and try to relay what's going on in here and put it out there to the world, to somebody watching the video, so that they can hopefully relate with and identify with what I'm going through, and maybe it somehow helps you. Maybe it's not really, maybe I don't have the answers, and what I'm basically doing is documenting, my trials and what I'm going through and how I'm battling my depression. I really don't have the answers. I am still struggling, and hopefully someday I can come on here and tell you, hey, I am victorious over depression, and I wake up feeling great. And I know that's how you want to feel too. If you're watching this and you struggle with depression, you just want to wake up and feel okay. You don't. You just go day after day after day, and you're just like, oh, I just don't like life. And that's kind of how I feel right now. There's been some things, kind of basically what kicked off my depression is back in 2012, I lost a really good job. And then I went through a divorce. We had 5 kids together, and so it was a loss of my family unit. And if you're a man or a woman and you've lost your family, it can be very, very, it's detrimental to your overall well-being and mental health, and even your kids. But for me, it kind of just destroyed me. Everything that I lived for was just gone. My kids, that was my main motivation. And so now I have limited time with my kids, and I'm still dealing with this. It's an ongoing issue, and I don't know what you're dealing with. But anyways, went through the divorce. I've had kind of meaningless job after meaningless job, and I haven't found any real fulfillment. And I miss my kids, coming home to my kids. I did battle with some addiction, and caused me some problems. I'm happy to say, I've been sober for over 3.5 years, and that is key. Medicating is not the answer. For sure, it only magnifies and intensifies the problem. So whatever you're dealing with, it might numb it for a minute, but the after effect is going to be, it's going to magnify your problems and make self-pity and self-loathing, even 10 times worse or 100 times worse or whatever. You just can't even get out of it. So that's not the answer if you even want to have a chance. I'm not going to lie. I've had just as many times in sobriety where I've thought, I just don't want to continue on anymore as I did in non-sobriety. But overall, I feel better, and I'm not giving up on that. And I wouldn't trade it for, not being sober again. I just love feeling good and feeling normal. I want to get to the point. I was thinking about making this video today on something I heard from Tim Ferriss. And if you don't know him, he's the author of The 4-Hour Work Week, The 4-Hour Body, and numerous other books. He's a New York Times bestseller, and also a fellow who has struggled with depression. And what really, I don't know. I always thought his book was cool, but what really sold me on Tim Ferriss was when I was listening to his podcast. It might have been a Tony Robbins podcast. I wish I had the episode. If I find it, I'll try to put the link below the video. But he was going through college. He had a really hard professor that was giving him a really hard time, and it was basically making it impossible for him to pass in this university. And there's a lot of dynamics involved too, because it was like a prestigious university. I can't remember if it was Princeton or what it was, but it was, expensive tuition. Here he is, thinking he's failing out because he can't meet the requirements. And I mean, the pressure it just became so overwhelming. And he was in the library one day, and he found this book, basically like a Dr. Kevorkian or Kevorkian style book on how to kill yourself. And it wasn't in, so he requested that he be notified when it came in. And he thought to himself, there, I have the answer, and he got some relief. He's like, I'm just going to kill myself. And so, long story short, the book came in, but it went to the address that was on file, which happened to be his parents' house because he didn't update his address to his university address. And so he got a phone call from his mom, and she's like, hey, Tim, what's going on? And he basically lied to her and said, oh, no, that was like for another, a friend of his, a classmate or something that was doing another project on depression or suicide or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but you get my point. Anyways, it was a wake-up call for him, and it kind of snapped him out of it, because he didn't want to, die, and, he didn't want that to be his legacy, and his mom calling him was like this wake-up call. And anyways, the one thing I learned from him is that if he couldn't think his way out of this, maybe he can do body over mind. So he started working out. And so instead of focusing on his mental, which he realized that he just couldn't find the answers within his own brain, so he started working out. And that was like one of his main takeaways, or one of his main keys to his success in getting over depression. I think he still has had some funks, because as we all struggle with depression, or if you've struggled with depression, or if you're like me, it's not something that just like goes away permanently. You always have this fear that you're going to go through a slump, and so I think he still had slumps, but he contributes a lot of his success to just working out like every day or every other day, and getting in a lot, cardio, and just weightlifting, and just doing things. And it didn't solve his problem, but what he noticed is that over time, it just made life easier. And when you feel better, it just makes sense that a brain connected to a healthy body is going to function better. And I've totally adopted that idea, which is why I have, made these, in some of my Teespring merchandise below the video, I have designed this one. It's called Body Over Mind. There's a couple different variations, but this is a couple ideas I've adopted. One from Tim Ferriss is Body Over Mind, and another one is Aggressive Mental Health. So I have this hoodie that says Body Over Mind, and below it says Aggressive Mental Health, and on the back it says When in Doubt, Work Out. And that has been my mindset for like at least the last 3 months. I have been working out at least every other day. At the most, I've skipped 2 days, and then sometimes I went every day. But for 90 days, I've tried it out, and I've been eating healthier. I've went I'd say 80% plant-based diet. I watched another cool video on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's called The Game Changers. It totally changed my way of thinking about how we eat and how it affects us, and that has made me feel immensely better. And I'm not a vegetarian. I do believe in the ideas behind the plant-based diet. There's a lot of studies that went into making that video, The Game Changers, that will just blow your mind. Olympic athletes who switched to a plant-based diet and got stronger and could work out longer and harder, way more stamina and way more strength. This is mind-blowing. And so I've been working out, eating better. I would recommend that for anyone that is struggling with depression. One of the quickest ways out of your mindset is not to try to think your way out of it, but work your way out of it. Body over mind. And it works every time. It really does. It changes. It's a game changer. And eating better, obviously, it only makes sense that a brain connected to a healthy body. I mean, is this going to work better? There's one thing that I am really struggling with that I know, actually 2 things that I know could probably help me tremendously, that I think keep us stuck. And because they're mainstream, it's okay. And I wish people would preach more on this and talk more about this. And so I'm going to do it. And this might even, push me over the edge to making this lifestyle change. But that is nicotine and caffeine. Nicotine is also considered a stimulant. It's considered several different types of a drug. It's also considered a mind and mood altering drug, and it's a stimulant, or it can be a downer depending on how you're feeling. And caffeine, obviously, that's a stimulant, but there's a major crash that comes with these. And I notice when I go through a whole night of no caffeine, nicotine, we're talking like 8-9 hours, I wake up in the morning, I'm feeling kind of okay. The first thing you want to do when you're addicted to caffeine and nicotine is hit your cigarette or your chewing tobacco or your Juul and get your coffee. And then, boom, you just that immediate But what I've noticed is within 5, not even like 5 or 10 minutes later, my mindset has totally shifted. I've shifted vibrations to a lower frequency than what I was on. And I am acutely aware of this fact. And so I know that these two things affect us more than we know. And I just think it's one of Satan's greatest schemes is to take the things that will really rob us and steal us of our joy and our energy and just make it okay, socially acceptable. And, even this has become way more socially acceptable. The Juul, it doesn't stink. It doesn't put out a huge cloud of vapor. Your breath doesn't stink. It's portable. It lasts all day. It's so convenient. And it's got even more nicotine. It's got a couple puffs and you've practically got as much nicotine as a whole cigarette. And it's so addictive. I'm more addicted to this than anything I've been on. I wish I could be free from it. I really do. I say that to myself every day. I pray about it all the time. I ask God to deliver me from it, whatever. I just want to be free. I've tried to go half days and then I started going crazy and I just wanted something to take the edge off. But I noticed that when I went, the longer I go without this, the more my mood elevates or my energy and that positive vibration. Same thing with caffeine. And these things make us feel crazy. It's like, why wouldn't we cut that out, But here I am struggling with it. So I know there's a couple more things I need to do to help with my depression, and that's one of them. The other thing I'm working on, one thing at a time. When you're depressed, everything is just too much for us. It's overwhelming, and I get overwhelmed easy. And I also tried a new job after I got my shoulder surgery. And so I'm confessing to you that I have been just dealing with shame and guilt. And I feel like a failure, because I'm not producing content. I want to come at this camera in a position of victory. And so I'm doing the exact opposite of what I tell people. It's like, just make the damn videos, no matter, and so I've even been seeing a counselor and she's like, do you feel like you have to be at a level of success or perfection before you can make a video? And if the answer was yes, it's like, oh my God, I'm ashamed because I make videos about depression and I'm not okay enough with myself to make a video because I don't feel like I've got enough victory to share with you. And that's not the point of my damn videos. So I'm trying to convince myself that the point is I want to make a video that resonates with someone so they don't have to feel alone, because that's, if I can do that, then I've helped someone. I might not provide you with an answer, and I have to quit feeling like I need to have the answers, because I really don't have the answers for depression. There's no cut and dried, simple, easy fix, whether you're on medication, working out. I've worked out for 90 days straight, solid, very regularly. And, it hasn't fixed my depression. It's not gone. I feel better, and I can tell you it's helped, and I would recommend it for anyone on a daily basis. At least it will get you out of a funk for a few hours for sure, and it lasts well into the next day. It gives you a lift. But if you're really struggling with things, there is just no easy answer. Nobody knows all the dynamics of your situation. Nobody knows all the dynamics of my situation, all the little things that keep me down and keep me feeling defeated. Defeat. It's such a huge part of depression. You get so freaking defeated so easily. And another huge thing I struggle with is, God. Why, I've always been a believer in God, and whether you believe in God or not, or whether you're a Christian or Buddhist or a Muslim, I don't care. I think this is a basic struggle we have as a human being. Is deep down we believe there's a God out there. I don't know how you couldn't believe that way. And knowing that, it's like, why are you so quiet? God, why don't you just reach down and like tell me the answers, and he doesn't, even the Bible says no one has ever seen God. And I know all these good, well-meaning Christians will say, but the heavens declare his glory and you can see God all around. And yes, but how does that help me now? I'm looking at the beautiful clouds right now and I can see that. It's beautiful. I see all the things that man has created too, and it's just amazing, but it doesn't make me feel better. I want to hear from God. And I think I do at times, and I feel like my Creator works through other people, especially when I need it most. And it doesn't totally answer my question as to why, he can't just manifest himself and just be like, hey, here I am, everything's under control. I don't understand the God plan and the master plan. And, like even from an early age, I was brought up as a Christian and as a believer in Jesus. And my first thoughts were, wow, in order to redeem the world from sin and fix the problem, an all-knowing God or, an all-powerful God could just snap his fingers and voila, we're better. But that is not the case. And here we are. And so, I don't know, it's just something I struggle with. I think things through too much, and I think that's a problem that we all have. And I don't understand. In order to have a relationship with a Creator, free will makes sense. God loved us so much that he gave us free will. And so we, how do you really love somebody or have somebody love you back if they don't have a choice? So that part makes sense to me, but I don't know. I don't have the answers. But that's just another part of my struggle. Is I'm just being honest with you guys, how I think and how I feel about things. And for me, the depression is physical, mental, and spiritual. There's like 3 sides to it. I'm trying to take care of my body and my brain. I eat better, and there's some things I should just quit putting in my body. I do go to church, and I do go to Celebrate Recovery. I've been going for 3.5 years, and here's the thing, I completely lost my faith after my divorce. I was actively in my addiction there, and I walked away from God completely, and I didn't know what I believed. And I just thought, it was kind of like, I'm certainly no Job, like you hear the story of Job and how God took away everything, and then he completely restored him. Through that, God, he had a pretty good attitude, and it's like his wife was like, well, you should just curse God and die. And that's kind of me, like I'm that attitude. Like I certainly cursed God and I wanted to die. I was so angry with God. I guess I still struggle with that. I still have some anger issues, because I don't understand. I do miss my family. That was who I was, and so I don't really know as much, about who I am today. It's a whole new. I've had to recreate my life, or I am in the process of recreating my life. I know that's going to resonate with a lot of people out there. If you're watching this video, I hope that somebody's hearing something that they identify with, because it just sucks to feel alone. Like you're the only one battling with these issues. And if you've ever been married for a long time and had a bunch of kids and went through a divorce, it can be pretty devastating. It's freeing at the same time to not be in a struggle, a constant battle with that person anymore, but it doesn't take away the pain of losing your family. I hope you got some good out of this video. I'm about to go in and work out, and this has been the first week that I haven't worked out in a while. I think I've taken like a week off. I read this little book I picked up this little book at the thrift store downtown, and it was talking about, there was this old doctor. He said that when you get past like 30 or 40, to take a DHEA supplement, DHEA, and it could possibly help with your depression. And so I ordered some on Amazon, thinking, hey, I'll try this. It's one thing I haven't tried. Sure as shit, it just made me nuttier than squirrel poop for like the last week. So I haven't been working out. I haven't been feeling good, and I haven't taken it for like a day now. So I'm kind of starting to feel normal again. I'm gonna go work out, and I know it's gonna clear up my head, and then I'm gonna be able to go get some things done. But anyways, hope this video helps someone, and I hope my honesty can, I hope somebody resonates with the way I think, and through that process we can love and support each other through whatever we're going through, because I guess there's just no easy answers for, and even if you're not going through depression, maybe you're just watching this video and you're just struggling with something in life, there's not always an easy answer. But for sure, for me, key things would be to stay connected to people no matter what, because your depression or life itself just wants to isolate you, and that's not good. You need to stay talking with people. Just get some activity, and that's what I'm going to go do. If you liked the video, would you consider giving it a thumbs up? You don't have to, but if you liked it, please do that. And if you haven't already, if you would like to, please hit the subscribe button down below. I would appreciate you coming back and watching more videos. I thank you guys, all of my subscribers, all the new subscribers I've gained. I can't even, it's not really to me like, I'm almost to like 15,000 subscribers at the time of this video. And it's like, sometimes to me it's like, wow, I wanted to get 100,000 subscribers and make a living off of YouTube, but even just the fact that I've gained several thousand in the last year or so is just kind of mind-blowing. It's like, wow, it's just crazy to me. But I sit here and I think of all the new people that have just subscribed, and it's like, I wonder who you are, I really do. It's like, and then when I, make little videos and I'm like, hey, please comment. I really do want to see your comments, because one thing I love, I love getting comments from everyone, people that I've started to get to know, but also new people that chime in and say, hey, new subscriber here, or I've been watching your videos. I love that. I really do. I enjoy that, and I love connecting with new people. And I have made some very dear friends through my channel. People that reach out to me like almost daily now, which is way cool, because a lot of times I don't want to talk to anyone, and I'll get like 3 or 4 messages from different people that know about me. Some of my subscribers have been some of my biggest supporters, and I love you for that. Thank you. I'm going to try to keep just approaching making videos at the level I'm at, where I'm at, and not having to be perfect before I come and step in front of the camera. It's an illness, it's like, it's a problem, it's like perfectionism, and it's just not gonna cut it. It doesn't work, and I'm disappointed in myself. I am disappointed in myself for not making fresh content, and so I'm gonna try really hard. But anyways, enough for now. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you soon in another video. Peace out.